I've known Vin because of my dad's career. I was a kid. I mean, they were contemporaries, and I've known him since I was a little boy. And now he could not be nicer. He could not be more wonderful when you're around him. But I never really got to know him like as, one of the guys.
Right.
I don't know that anybody really did. He was just kind of in his own pocket over there in his booth. But I did. I called him. I said, look, I'm sure this is the last thing you want to do and you want to keep a low profile. But and he didn't get back. And then when I saw him on Kimmel, I thought, I'll reach out again just in case he didn't hear my voicemail.
Right.
And then I did it by email this time to take the pressure off. And I read his email in his voice, the response back to me.
And what was it?
It was like, go to hell. No, it was
with Farmer John. You and Farmer John.
Right, yeah. It was the nicest blow off of all time.
You know what? And he's supposed to be there tonight, by the way. That's the rumor, that he's coming to his first game as a fan.
Yeah, well, look,
tonight.
People for the last, I would say, 3 years, as this time has, finally come to pass where he's finished now in a broadcast booth. They've either shot at me on Twitter or Facebook, or articles have been written about how wouldn't it be nice if you, Joe Buck, relented and let Vin Scully come in and do an inning. I'm like, hell yes, I would drive the car. I would rent the helicopter, whatever it would take to get him there. Fox would be so for it. First of all, I don't hold the keys to the booth. Secondly, it would be a thrill.
Sure.
That's how I grew up. I mean, as much as I'm my dad's kid, as far as national TV, that's Scully to me. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm from St. Louis, Scully's that voice. So it would be phenomenal, but he just does not want to do it. And I get it. It would be a foreign situation. He doesn't know John Smoltz that well, at least as an on-air broadcast partner at all. Who's talking in his ear? He wants to be comfortable if he's going to do something like that, and I respect that he's done.
So do you think when he shows up tonight, he's going to keep score? Like, what does he know what to do?
I don't know. That would be so weird.
Does he order a beer? I mean, you call.
That'd be great.
And then you get
put his feet up,
because I hope on FS1 tonight that if he does, obviously you want to give him his space, but you do have a camera on him just to see what it looks like as a fan, or I don't think I don't know. Maybe you'll be in a suite or something.
I would assume they would have him
just
in
have
a suite
out of the way. Yeah.
But I would, if I could,
that's great,
wrap my arms around him, physically pick him up, carry him into the booth, walk out and lock the door. I would do it, but that wouldn't be fair.
Joe Buck here on the Rich Eisen Show prior to calling Game 5 of the NLCS, and we'll discuss that tonight. But I do want to get into a little bit more of your dad and Vin, because they called the catch, right? Vin did it on TV. Your dad did it on radio.
They both called the catch, and now that you're saying that, they both called the Gibson home run. My dad was doing the radio, and Vin was doing TV.
Think about that. Did they do the Go Crazy too? Where your dad did the radio for Ozzie Smith, and
there's a chance,
and Vin did that for NBC.
There's a real good chance they were in side-by-side booths for all three of those moments: the Ozzie Smith home run, the Kirk Gibson home run, and the Dwight Clark catch. Crazy.
We'll never see anything like that again.
No, and I think that's what hits home with so many people. That now that Vin, who's been behind the mic for them for 67 years and bridges the gap between Brooklyn and LA, you hear that voice, and that voice is baseball to me. And you hear that voice, and that's kind of the last remaining guy in that golden era of sports announcers, and specifically baseball announcers. And now that time's over, and that's hard for people of my age, your age, to take.
Absolutely.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.